So hi guys, my name is Noma Nomakosi. Yeah, as one word. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please kindly subscribe, like, and share. You guys, today it's sunny and I have photophobia. So let me just wear those ones. Yeah, I think it's better, but they're dirty. Okay, so I want us to continue with the nature of my relationship and my late baby's father. Man, their relationship, guys, was so special before the shit hit the fan. It was so special, shame. It was nice. Hence, I'm saying I don't think I'll ever met a loyal and loving guy like that in my entire existence. But I'm praying to anyone who's loyal and single out there. I'm available. Joking. So yeah. um while we were staying there in that BNB, we were not staying together. He was still staying at his home, which was not far from the BNB that she was renting. He was renting for me in Davidton. So his home was in Twatwa. There's a section that's called Twatwa, somewhere in Davidton. So yeah, I was staying there in his home. They already knew me. I'm his girlfriend. I don't know how many girlfriends they knew. I was not even bothering myself about that because the way he was treating me, it was a taboo to me. I've never met someone who was like him. Like, actually, yes, I do have that lack of meeting men who will do things for me, but I don't think uh, in his level, he was too much. So yeah, and then life went on. While we were staying in that BNB, I was still working night shift. So he will come. Sometimes I'll go to his home for a visit, and then introduce me to his parents. Yeah, you guys. Before that, we spoke. Everything. I've learned a lot from that relationship because we used to plan for things before we do them. We would sit down like a meeting sort of, and there will be a pen and a paper. I've never seen such. So we'll sit down and we will speak about our plans. We'll write down even the days that's okay. In these days, this is what we're going to do, and we will make sure that thing doesn't fail. I've learned a lot, Shem. He was so organized, but I'm sure most people or his friends didn't know he was that organized. He was so organized, let me tell you guys. So we planned for having a baby. At that time, I had 2 kids from my first boyfriend at home, boys, and he had a girl from a girl not far from his home. So altogether we had 3 kids. So now we're planning for like our own, ne? I planning like, oh baby, you know what? It would be nice if we start like trying for a baby now, before I even go to your home, because firstly I want to buy a house so that when you deliver the child, we know that we have our own home. Even when we get married, we know we have our own home. So first of all, I want us to have a shelter. We can't rent all. We old now, we need like to settle down. I meant it when I was saying like I'm really looking forward into a stable relationship and I want us to get married. Okay, we spoke about it. And then while we were doing applications for a bond, house bond, then we were also trying for a baby. So I was not at that time I stopped the contraceptions. Then we were like trying and it didn't happen for about that year, and we started to be worried. Hence he was still fixing his finances so that he can be approved, applying for the bond, because he's the one. He said he's going to pay for the bond, hence he is the man of the house. That type of person that he was. He used to tell me that a man, indoda itya ukubila kwebunzi layo, sisiXhosa eso. So a man feeds himself or his house with his own sweat, which means a man is the one who's supposed to work hard for his family. Okay, so time went on. I didn't conceive for quite some time, and then we started to be worried about this. But then I was like, man, I have 2 kids, I have boys, but at that time they were grown, Yeah. Guys, let me tell you what we did. We nearly died, ne? Then he suggested that he said there's a lady that he knows that he's doing steady for people who have a problem with conceiving and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not scared of a steady. Ucato. Is it an enema in English? So we went. That lady gave us a 2-liter bottle. So we each of us was supposed to do a mug. Maybe we should pour a half of this, because this glass is big. Then you put in the ucato, is it enema? Then you put in your anus, and then this content should go inside there, and then you go into the toilet. We did that. Yeah, we nearly died in the toilet. Yo, guys, that thing is dangerous. I went first because I was not scared of this. We used to do this at home, but that day it proved me wrong, honey. The pain, I never had a menstrual pain, but that day I think I had it. The pain, it lasted for I think an hour. I could feel that I was losing power. I was becoming like dehydrated. The saliva started to be thick in my mouth. Yo, I cried. How? And then I saw my guy coming into the bathroom running. I was like, oh, babe, I'm dying. We were crying, both of us, in the bathroom. Okay. The day, the last stool that I passed, something also came from my vagina. Something like an egg, the key part of an egg knows the yolk, like that key part jelly-like thing. It came out from my vagina, and in that thing there was a brownish thing, like an old blood. It came out, and then I was like, that's when the pain stopped. I was like, baby, come and see. Baby came. I was like, what is this? Babe, I don't know. We took a photo. Okay, the following day we went to see this lady. We told her that your thing is so painful, but this is what came out from me. And then the lady say, yeah, is this thing that was stopping you from conceiving? They stopped you. Actually, you're not supposed to get married. She told us like that. You're not supposed to get married. So they stopped you to conceive because actually you are made, or I don't want to mention names, You are not supposed to get married, so you are no more supposed to conceive. You are no more supposed to have kids according to the will of a person who did this to you. And this thing was done by a so trusted person. You trust this person, and they made this so that you don't go anywhere. You just belong in your home forever, so that you work for them. I was like, oh, I couldn't believe that. Obviously, especially at that time, couldn't believe all that. Okay, life went on. After that, wah, got pregnant with Munduza. We celebrated, and at that time when we discovered that I was pregnant, already the house was approved, everything. We were just supposed to move in. Guess what? Guess who chose the house? Moi. It's me. So we moved. He moved from home, and I moved from the B&B into our own house in Crystal Park. We celebrated. We were so happy. Everything was nice. But the sad part was that it was 2020. The COVID was there. There was a lockdown, so we couldn't go home for lobolas, and but we were already prepared for everything. You guys, one thing that you must know about that guy, he was so organized. I've never seen a man who was so organized like that. Okay, life went on, and then we decided, okay, in the meantime, let's just work and save more money so that we buy my blankets, because I know the situation at home. I was a breadwinner, so in our culture, before you get married, there is this thing that we do, remember. So you buy blankets, pillows, small mats for the in-laws gifts. As a gift, you give a certain number of your in-laws. So we did just that. We started buying blankets, but we didn't tell anyone though. We're just putting them in our in the other room, because we had a 3-bedroom house. So yeah, and then the lockdown went on and on and on. We couldn't move, and until I delivered the baby. In August. I delivered the baby. We didn't move. I never went home with the whole pregnancy. We were just speaking through the phone, Okay. Something bad happened before I delivered the baby, I broke my phone. I had a very nice smartphone, Samsung S8. I'm still in love with that phone. I broke my phone. Almost when you're pregnant, you break things, you fall, things like that. I broke my phone, and we didn't have money to fix that phone. We had to put it aside, and honey bought me there's small cell phones. Utididi. So I was using Utididi. So with Utididi, I had a problem of a network. Sometimes when people call me, they will get me, and sometimes they will not. So in most times, I would use his phone, especially to call home. And when they don't get reach of me through my cell phone, they will call his number. They know must be always together. So here, time went on like this. That was before I delivered the baby. During the lockdown, oh guys, something bad happened, and I still ask myself questions about that. But anyway, I know I'll never get answers. My younger sister, actually, during the time when I didn't have a phone, took his number and gave it to the other guy from KZN. The guy I knew from KZN when I was still a student in the college. Yeah. this guy, the things that he was saying to him through WhatsApp. Makosi is my girlfriend. What are you doing with that? She is my lady. I knew her before you knew her. And don't ask me where I got your numbers, because my Sbari, which is